Hey, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. I don't know why I'm doing this. Alright, so first let me say that I am petrified of needles. Like, that is no joke, alright? I have a tattoo already, and it was such a mission to get, alright? Having said that, I'm issuing a tattoo challenge. Now, a lot of you might be wondering, what is that? Well, there's a link in the description below. Please go check it out. It's called the Tattoo Challenge. In a nutshell, if you guys can get me to 5,000k subscribers before the 16th of August, I'm gonna get a tattoo chosen by you guys. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I decided to do this. Having said that, enjoy the show. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Let's Talk. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I see there's already some people waiting. Liberator, the Master Instigator. I love that name. It says Unathi, and Chico is here saying I, and Grim saying yes, hang them from the street poles. Already getting into it. Yanni tuning in as well saying hey peeps. So as you guys can see, I'm joined once again by Unathi Kwaza, who's currently in Johannesburg. And we're going to talk a bit about her experiences there. But Unathi was telling me just before we went on air that she recently had a traumatic experience, or I don't know if it was recent, but please, Unathi, do tell your story.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Yes, I was manhandled on Wednesday evening at an AGM at the Free Market Foundation by a man called Murray Hewlett. Apparently, he's the CEO of a company called Affinity Enterprises. So, I mean, there's been a lot of tension at the Free Market Foundation as we were preparing for this AGM. I'm now the former member of board member, and I don't know under what circumstances they elected a new board because because of the violence that was happening and the chaos that these men, including Murray, and he brought in bouncers to an AGM. Clearly, he had one intention in mind to cause chaos. And he succeeded because they elected a board. We couldn't take it, myself and another board member and the now former chairman of the board, and we just had to step out. This started at 5:30, even before the meeting was supposed to start at 5:30, and when you get to the door, I had never experienced that at the Free Market Foundation. When you get to the door, there's like these belly men, tall, big, who were at the door. They got orders, obviously, from this Murray person to check whose name is on the list. So if you were not on the list, you were not allowed into the building. This is new. I've never felt violated at the Free Market Foundation. I served on the board because I believe in what they do, what they stand for, at least what they tell people is what they stand for. So I've never felt violated before, and I've never felt threatened, scared for my life before. But it happened. It's one of those things. And unfortunately, no one has called to ask how am I doing. And I'm even glad I'm no longer in the board.
So you're talking about ZACP, correct?
No,
Oh.
Free Market Foundation.
So it's different.
It's the Free Market Foundation. It's an NGO think tank.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't you know them?
No, I've heard of. I don't know why, but I thought Free Market Foundation was another way of saying ZACP.
No.
Okay.
They are apolitical because of what their work deals with. We deal with policies that government brings to the fore, and we challenge where we want to challenge. For instance, the expropriation of land of expropriation without compensation, and also now the NHI. Those are the challenges the policies that we challenge. So we work in that space. So it's important that we remain apolitical as an organization. But unfortunately, what happened now has nothing to do with the work actually that we do, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
So I ended up being manhandled because there are people who were organized by, I will say, the COO, current COO, who is Leon Lowe, and he's told people in his camp that some of us want him out of the organization, which is a lie, and I don't know where he gets that. So whenever you have a different opinion to his, he sees you as the enemy, which is strange because he's the person who recruited me to join the board in the first place. And the last 2 years, he's been telling me that they would like to work with me. So things changed this year. I don't know what, but things have become this terrible. And so yesterday I got a letter from Marie's lawyers. I'm sure you saw the tweets I posted. And so they're threatening now to sue me or something. And he claims that I assaulted him. Oh my word! What a wimp!
I mean, I've seen pictures of you. I mean, I saw you, pictures of you. You seem like a petite, and I don't mean that in a
Yes,
bad way. I mean, you seem like a
yes.
petite woman,
So
and I don't
and
know Murray
I
if
mean,
he's big, but I
yeah.
mean,
He's tall. He's tall. He's strongly built. He's not fat, so he's like quite fit. Uh, he says now. I mean, he intentionally pushed me at the door,
what?
and I made a noise about it, and I demanded to know why he did that. He has no right to put his body on my body,
Yes.
and I don't know who gave him the right to think he can bully me at an AGM.
So,
And I mean, I
so sorry.
refused. I just posted some short videos now, because I'm saying that I refuse to be bullied by anyone, not a man, not a woman, just anyone, not government.
Mm.
And so I'm just standing up for my rights, and so the same way that I will stand for anyone's rights who are
Yes.
being trampled upon.
I have to ask, just because I know there's going to be people that are going to ask. So I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and I mean no offense by what I'm about to ask. But are there any videos to support your story?
Yes, yes.
Have they been
There won't.
released?
I don't think there will be videos of the what happened at the door, because no people were paying attention. The meeting was ongoing.
Mm-hmm.
People were paying attention to that. But now,
I
when
see.
he pushed me, I started asking him and demanding to know why he did that.
Mm.
And his bodyguard, one of his bodyguards, was sitting next to him. He stood up and he said that no, he didn't do it. So I asked him, like, how do you know? You were not at the door when it happened. He knows he did it. And now, because he's seeing the tweets, he's sending his lawyers to threaten me. I'm not the only one that he sent letters of lawyers to, apparently. He sent to our executive manager at the foundation for refusing to. Apparently, her crime is to refuse for her temperature to be taken at the door, and she also refused to sign the register. So and to disclose her proxies. So his lawyers wanted this woman to apologize before 10 o'clock this morning, and she blatantly refused. I mean, what kind of a person is this? It's a shame that the Free Market Foundation is working with people like this one. For me, this is thuggish behavior, and it should not be tolerated. Just
I
received, yeah, I just
sorry.
received it. Yeah, I just received a message just now. It was sent earlier, but I saw it just now on Twitter, a DM, someone saying that he knows exactly who this man is. He had to leave Johannesburg because of the threats he was getting from this man. He picked up his family, his business, and went back to Cape Town because of this man. So this is the kind of person who has wormed his way into the Free Market Foundation, and unfortunately, the CEO is using such people to gain more power in the organization. And I probably wouldn't be talking about this if I didn't feel that I was threatened on Wednesday, and I have a right to feel safe in any environment that I walk into. And if I
Absolutely.
don't feel safe, then I don't belong there.
I agree with you. And I just want to address a comment here by Yanni. He says, "But Joe Emilio, size does not matter. There's lack of respect," and I agree with that. I wanted to understand: is this a big guy? Is this small? And I'm not saying that it matters. I don't know this guy. I can't even imagine what he looks like because I've never heard of him. So I wanted to know some facts. That's all. didn't mean like, oh, well, he has a right to. Of course he doesn't. And no man has a right to put their hands on a woman for any reason, especially in a form of aggression. So I,
But you know what it is, Joe?
yes.
Some men don't like. I mean, the reason why at the door there was an altercation is because I was coming from the loo, and this man was at the foyer with these goon-looking men, and I heard him talk about us because now there's like sort of two camps. There's a Leon Lowe's camp where Murray belongs, and there's people who are trying their best to make to preserve this organization to remain what people know it to be. So I heard him talk about us, calling us bandits. And then I asked him, why are you calling us bandits? What right do you have to call us names? I mean, goodness.
Aren't you all on the same team though? Essentially,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
why?
It doesn't make sense to me because we all say that we are for free markets. We say that we are for property rights. We say that we are for individual liberty to be respected.
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe, sometimes when an organization gets bigger, you find a lot of people get attracted to it for their nefarious reasons. And people who don't actually believe in the principles that you have.
A sort of too many chefs in the kitchen situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say
that is
one
why.
thing.
So that's why he was angry with me as we were approaching the door, and he and I tried to explain to people it was not that we both entered at the same time. No, obviously your bodies will touch, but I saw him intentionally like pushing me, and that's when I just went ballistic. And I know that Jane Baglioni has got the video. I'm not sure about Gail Day if she does have the video, but I know that the organization has a video somewhere of the incident. Yeah. Mm. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Sorry,
Again,
sorry.
that's
I noticed my mic was off. Sorry. So what I was saying was, sorry guys. So what I was saying was, the behavior is appalling, and that this man needs, if there's any evidence about what this man did, not that I'm doubting what or not he's saying, but it needs to be put out there. It needs to be shown that a man of this, and in this position, cannot abuse his power in any way, shape, or form. And with the topic of gender-based violence being such a hot topic in South Africa at the moment, we cannot tolerate this kind of behavior at all. There's no reason or excuse for a man to ever put his hand on or lay a hand on his own woman in any aggressive manner, shape, or form. And I'm proud of Unathi for speaking out, and she should. And she's a Rottweiler. She always has spoken out for rights, and she doesn't give a damn, which I respect. And yeah, hopefully, the fact that he wants to sue and threaten like that, I think that's just him puffing his muscles and stuff like that. I think, as long as you can prove, and I'm sure you can, then he's got no leg to stand on at all.
yeah. Yeah, just in passing now, before we get to the death penalty topic, with the IRR again, I just refuse to be silenced, especially by people who claim to be classic liberals. It's disappointing for me
What
that
happened there? What happened with the IR? Because I
okay,
saw that you
it
were.
starts. It's apparently they are monitoring our tweets. I don't know why. They don't have a social media policy in the first place. So when Russell Lamberti called me on Saturday, I was coming from the mall, and yeah, I think was it Saturday?
I think so.
No, it was Friday. It was Friday, yes.
Mm.
So when he called me around lunchtime, it started for me. It started. Oh, when he called, I was just entering the premises. So I said I'll call him back. So I called him back, and he told me that there were some people who were not happy about my tweets. People at IRR that were not happy about my tweets to Pumzile van Dam. I called him a fat bitch, which she is. And so he said that they don't, because I'm in the council of the IRR, they don't like that kind of language.
Okay,
So
but
I
wait. Why
asked
did you call him a fat bitch? Did he insult
okay,
you? Did.
so there was an article, I think, in the Sowetan on Friday morning, an article that said that Stella Ndabeni, the communications minister, had blocked Pumzile van Dam because Pumzile van Dam said she was being secretive about something happening at the SAPC, didn't disclose certain information. So she was she was accusing her of that. So that's when she blocked Pumzile van Dam of the DA. So I tweeted after I read that, and I asked the DA, and I tagged the DA because Pumzile, I mean, from time to time she blocks me, unblocks me, blocks me, unblocks me. So this time around, she unblocked me because I'm sure she saw the DA tweet. And so I was asking, what is the role of Pumzile van Dam in Parliament? Because every time she's in the news, it's for for me, it's for petty things, and I don't see the impact that she's actually doing. Remember when the board of the SAPC recommended that they should retrench workers. The SAPC has they need to retrench about 300 full-time workers and over 1,000 people who are on part-time or contracts, just short contracts. I don't know why they are keeping such people when they cannot afford even the full-time staff. I really don't know. I don't know who runs a business like that. So every time, so Pumzile is against the retrenchments. She's been calling for skills. I don't know. They say that they'll check people's skills and all that, but that information is at HR already. It shouldn't, because I would like to think that it's not a thug organization. So everyone's papers are there. So it's been years now. They're talking about a skills audit. And for me, it's just playing politics. And the DA should be answering to why are they doing that through Pumzile? And I don't understand. I want to understand their standpoint. So her response now to my tweet, she said that I will dog match you through these Twitter streets. So that's a member of parliament, someone who's supposed to be representing me because I voted the DA, unfortunately. So that's what she said. So I was reacting to that, and I just got pissed off. It was morning. I was just not going to take any nonsense from her. So I told her that I'm not the white people in the DA that are so afraid of her, and that she is bullying. She's bullying white people in the DA, and she knows that she's going to get away with it. Remember when she assaulted someone at the waterfront in Cape Town? What did the DA do about it? Nothing that I know of. So I told her that I'm not these people that are afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. So obviously I'm never voting DA again, because they just refuse to discipline this woman, and she brings nothing of value to the party, as far as I'm concerned. The only thing she's bringing is her black skin, and she's getting away with everything that she does because she's black, and that's what when Ellen Zille talks about black privilege, that's exactly what she means. But I don't know what they are doing about such people. I mean, Luyolo Mpiti as well. He got away with murder at that primary school. when he accused. I mean, he had no facts on the table before he could make up his mind that that teacher was a racist. He decided to go with the mobs of Twitter and call. I mean, it's so painful and traumatizing to be called a racist. If you are a white person, white people are in the minority of Afrikaners are in the minority in this country. So to be called a racist is like really hateful, and people get away with it.
Yeah, well, I've been called a racist. I'm not white, but I've been
Yeah,
called a racist. So I
yeah.
mean, it's
Well, people
ridiculous.
think you're white because they know you're not colored, so you're something.
But that's the funny thing, though, because so colored, right? I mean, I know colored is a culture, right?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a culture. I respect that and I understand that. But I'm also colored is like a mixed race, right? That's
Yes,
technically what I'm a mixed race. Like
yeah. So you,
I might not be culturally colored, but I
yeah.
am a mixed race. So
You
I
are a
mean,
foreigner then.
yeah, xenophobic attacks and stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So I'm just against double standards. If as an organization you say, as a party, you say that you stand for this, I expect you to stand for the principles that you preach. And I hate bullies like Pumzile van Dam or this Murray Hewlett guy. I mean, goodness. So this year has been very tough, and yeah, that's all I wanted to say. And we can just go to the next topic.
Okay. Well, thank you for explaining your side of the story, and I if any of the what's Puma? Sorry, what's that name?
Pumzile,
Pumzile and the guy that
Murray.
Murray that assaulted you. If you guys ever watch this, first of all, Murray, please don't attempt to send me a lawyer's letter. It's not going to work. You seem to be doing that. And also, if you want to come onto my channel and explain your side of the story, you're more than welcome to. I'm just putting it out there publicly in case you ever watch this video. This is not an attack on you or anything like that. You're more than welcome to come onto my channel and explain your side of the story. That's all I'm going to say on that. So let's get into. Let me get to some of the comments here. So Dodgy Idealist tuned in saying hi. Morabane, thank you for tuning in. Morabane saying, I think IRR is a little paranoid about perceptions, which is, of course, obvious. The Dodgy Idealist saying, hashtag black privilege. Chico saying, I've been called racist by a white person. And Yanni saying, Germany, at least you're something. Lol, Unathi is straight up. I love it. And Robin saying, logic is out of the window at this point. Lol. Yeah, it's crazy times we're living in, and I think lockdown doesn't help either. People are on edge, stressed, worried about the future. So everyone has a bit of a short fuse, I think. Anyway, let's get into the main topic at hand. And once again, thank you, Unathi, for speaking out. We need voices like you that, you know what, even if people don't agree with what you say, it's important to still have your voice, my voice, anyone else's voice for that matter, talking, because we need to get to some kind of. I feel like the old way of discussion and debate has gone out the window. Now everybody uses force or manipulation or insults to try and get their point across, which is not a mature and progressive way of dealing with issues or matters at hand. So it's very sad to hear what has happened to you. And IRR, I don't know. Like, I can understand where the IR is coming from, but I definitely understand the hypocrisy in what they did as well. So I was shocked to see that. I think you're a valuable asset to them, and it's sad to see what happened. But anyway, not really my business either. Let's talk about the death penalty. All right, so you guys that are in the comments, you can let me know what you guys think of the death penalty. Basically, should it be reinstated? There's been a discussion about that throughout the past few weeks and even years. People think that the death penalty should be reinstated because crime might decrease, or people might think twice about doing crime, with harsh penalties and death penalty being reinstated, especially for the crimes such as murder, rape, that those people should be killed by the state. Now, Unathi, I'll let you give your opinion on that, and then I will give my opinion.
All right. Obviously, I am also appalled when I see whether it's the murder of farmers, murder of just about everyone in this country. We 57 on average, 57 people get murdered in South Africa every day, every single day. So that's for a country that's supposedly peaceful and is not in civil war. That those numbers are just shocking. And I don't know why the South African Human Rights Council is not making a noise about it, or the UN Human Rights Council. I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, life is precious, and it's so cheap in this country. You'll be murdered for a cell phone by thugs. People will come into your house, steal a television, but if they feel like oh, there's people here, they will rape, they will kill, and do all those things. Having said all that about the death penalty, the information that I have is that research has been done on this matter, and there's absolutely there's nothing that says that there's no evidence to say in countries where there's death penalty, rates of crime, of murder, of rape have decreased. So purely based on that, because remember when you change the constitution or the laws of the country, there has to be a reason for you to do it. Sending people to death, sentencing people to death, whether it's by lethal injection or hanging, it's a very serious issue because you're taking a life. Yes, you're taking a life of a criminal, but you're still taking a life. So, and unfortunately, I know countries like Botswana or Zimbabwe still do it. In the US, they do it. But there are countries that have been actually turning around and saying, stopping it. We don't have, like, a lot of countries don't do it, I think. And some of the countries who used to do it, who have stopped doing it, which I always celebrate. I don't know, there's something for me precious about a human life. Yes, these thugs don't respect rights of others. They don't respect human life itself. But I don't know. Maybe it's an ethical and a moral issue for me. Obviously, morals are subjective to interpretation. Like, you have yours, I have mine. There are things that I do that you would find immoral, but for me, they are okay. So it's a personal choice. It's a moral issue. It's how I was brought up. So my past determines the person that I am today, and obviously, I try to be the best person that I can be. And in South Africa, if we look at the state of the police in this country, look at the state of our judiciary. I mean, just now we had a magistrate in KZN who said that this gay man could never, it's not possible that a gay man can rape a woman because look, he's carrying a handbag, so there's no way this man could have raped you. I mean, what is that? There's a number of cases where I feel the judiciary is actually disappointing us in the judgments that they make. So under those circumstances, and there's still a lot of prejudice coming from the judiciary. Look, think about who's this woman now who was arrested? Was it Vicky Mombek? He was arrested for using the K word, which is something that I totally disagree with. People should never be criminalized for words that they say. Words don't harm. Words don't kill you. So why should you be arrested for using the K word or any other nasty word as a person? And there's still a lot of prejudice in our judiciary in that a black person will never be like Malema, for instance. He will never be arrested and put in jail for saying all this nasty and sometimes Malema has actually incited violence, which is a crime on its own. Violence against white people, Afrikaners, farmers, and all those people. And he's still a free man. So that's why to call for a death penalty in South Africa would be dangerous. And I mean, the ANC is in power and they're still going to be in power in the next few years, or if we like it. But judging by the state of opposition party in this country, it means that I think the ANC is still going to be around, whether we like it or not. Unless we can change the 20 million people's minds who don't vote, who should be voting. We're still going to have the ANC. I wouldn't want such a party to decide for an end to someone's life.
Yeah.
They are absolutely, this government is actually, the incompetence on just about every level in this country is just is scary.
Yeah.
That we've managed 26 years in democracy with all the nonsense that happens. So to give such a government where the thuggery is just a thing, like it's the norm, to give them the power to, I know there's like, people will say that, no, there's independence of the judiciary, of executive and parliament. But we have to be honest now. For me, independence is like relative in that, I mean, to say the judiciary is independent. Look at what happened with President Judge John Thorpe in the Western Cape. The man does as he pleases because he can, and because it's the president of the country who puts these people in power. Basically, yes, it's the JSC that appoints, but eventually it's the president who has to have the final say and say, okay, you can be judge, you can't be judge, and all that. So independence in South Africa is like, I don't know, it's a myth really, because politicians have politics in South Africa has such a huge role in every facet of everything that happens. So I would be wary of putting such power in politicians' hands, because even if they are judges, some of these people become politicians, whether they just by associating themselves with the ANC. So it would be a dangerous road to take, path to take, and I wouldn't want it. I mean, there are people who say that I don't know if people know the extent of how they investigate, whether they call them detectives or investigators. I don't know if people know the level of desperation that is happening in that department alone. We don't have enough. Remember that because of the transformation and all the nonsense about PE or affirmative action, we literally have very few white men or women left in the judiciary or in police themselves, and just about everyone in government, people with skills who have been there with experience, which is something that's very important when you are going to be a detective or an investigator. Because, goodness, when you have to take someone's life as a government, there's a lot that you have to do to make sure that you're making the right decision. Think about the United States of America today. There's still people today who we are told they've been in jail for like 30 years, and they've only found out now that they were actually innocent all along. So you've taken these people's lives. It's like, I can't think of anything worse than that, really. Even for me, even the death penalty is not worse than what these people have been through. And the United States is way better in how they handle the judiciary and the courts and the law, matters of the law. So if South Africa can decide to, I know people like Herman Mashaba will call for the death penalty, but for me, it's just, they're just being political. They're not really thinking about the what could happen if government had that power over us.
All right, so I will give my opinion on that. I'm hearing some very good points from your side, and as a Christian myself, like, I know nobody has the rights as humans to, in terms of my religious beliefs, no one has the rights to take a life ever. It is against my morals, and as a Christian believer, against that as well. Like, it's against Christian belief as well. And I lived in Egypt, right? So this is where I'm a bit on the fence with this. So I agree 100% that ANC having the power to implement the death penalty is like the worst thing we could possibly do. Like they are, oh my word, they would change so many laws and so many rules, and it would just give them unlimited power to just kill who they want to kill, and they'd probably guise it under racism or I don't know what. Like probably if it was up to them, they'd probably say any racism, we'll kill for it. You know, like that's if you're a racist, death penalty. Which so I 100% agree. ANC should not have that power. This government should not have that power at all. Now, there's some comments that are coming through, which I also like. I agree. You know, like people saying, government having that power is a very dangerous thing because, like I just explained, you know, they can make up laws and stuff that will allow them to kill as they see fit, and that most of the law system or the justice system is flawed. As you've mentioned in the USA, there's unfortunately a lot of people that have been jailed and on death row, but they're actually innocent. And one famous, I don't know if he's on death row, but an example of the justice system being very flawed and a bit of corruption is the very famous Avery case that is still ongoing. For those of you who haven't seen it, Making a Murderer, please go watch it. It shows the flaw of the justice system very well and how corrupt it can be. So I understand all that. But when I lived in Egypt, right, I can't remember if Egypt has the death penalty, but we heard stories about Saudi Arabia and all those places that do have the death penalty. And some of them, at least at the time when I was there, they had it. There are other crimes, such as, or other penalties for crimes. So, for example, if you rape a woman, your penis gets cut off. If you steal something, your hands get cut off, or a hand gets cut off. So there's severe consequences for that, you know. And I could be wrong because these were maybe horror stories that were told to us. But we all knew and agreed that Saudi Arabia has very hectic penalties for crime. And Egypt was actually, despite it being it's very third world, despite it being that, the crime was extremely low. Like you rarely heard of theft or rape or I think once I heard about a Grand Theft Auto situation.
Think about it, though, Joel. Sorry to interrupt you. Think about it. The reason why Egypt is like that, look at their culture. People still value their culture. People still value how they used to do things in such communities. So to go and rape a woman is totally against every belief that they have in that country. South Africa. I mean, look at black communities. The fact that a third of children live with both parents. That tells me that there's a lot of deterioration that has happened over the years. I don't know where it comes from, but Thomas Sowell actually talks a lot about the dangers of, the results of a government taking over the role of fathers who are supposed to be taking care of the children.
Yes,
the children that they make. Men should not continue to make babies and just expect government or taxpayers to take care of those babies.
Yes.
So what that does to a family is these children continue. I mean, there's stats in the US on this. The fact that where this is happening, unfortunately, in poorer homes, that is where mostly children grow up without their fathers. And there's a lot of crime in such areas. And there's a lot of people not respecting human rights. And I think I myself never grew up with a father. My mother tells me that, so it was her childhood sweetheart at high school. And they had sex once, and unfortunately, or fortunately, I was born from that. And when she told him that she was pregnant, he was like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." So that's why, I think I first saw my father at 15, and that was the first, I think, and the last time that I saw him, because he was never part of my life. So there's a lot of that in our communities. men who don't want to take responsibility. Unfortunately, it breaks down communities. It breaks down families in the first place.
Yes.
It breaks down communities, and because there's a role that men must play in any community.
I agree.
We can say whatever we want, equal rights and all that, but there's a role. I mean, in our culture, which I'm closer by tribe, and so in my culture, there's a role in society for men, and there's a role for women. Women give birth. Women are naturals, take care of family. Men protect these families. So I remember a story by the SABC like a few years ago where in this, it's still continuing now that some rural areas there will be a lot of women because men have left the rural area to go and look for job. It's been happening forever since the dawn of, I don't know, since work started really. So people leave the rural areas to go look for jobs in cities, big cities. So what was happening now in this rural area in Eastern Cape, old women were so afraid to be alone because of the rape that was happening. Sometimes the rape is perpetrated by their grandchildren, and sometimes it's just a man who knows that there's only one woman staying in this house with just little children, so they attack them. So what they would do, they would go to a certain house and stay there for the night, and then in the morning, they group together and try to protect themselves in that manner because there are no men. So there's a role for men in society. So when these societies and communities break down and men spend so much time in prisons, which is happening in black communities in the US, black communities in South Africa, what do we expect to happen in that society where, for me, it's broken and rapes, murders become the norm, and that's exactly what has happened. Young boys grow up without knowing the role that they must play in their homes, in their communities, because there are no men to be their role models, basically.
Yeah. I agree with everything you're saying, and I fully understand that situation. I was just trying to say that and you're right, absolutely right about the culture thing, because it is in Islam, they're very, against all that stuff. But I found out later on that it still kind of happens. It's just under, hush hush, closed doors, type of thing. And the women in Islamic, I don't want to say Islamic communities, because there is a difference between Islam in South Africa. What I've noticed is people who are Muslim here seem a little bit liberal. But in Egypt, they're like way more strict with stuff, and Saudi Arabia even more so. So in Egypt, for example, like when my parents got divorced, my dad could easily say, "Oh, I'm not gonna take care of you guys. I'm not gonna provide any alimony or whatever," and the law would be on his side. So the law favors the man in Egypt, which is sad. But I mean, that's a topic for another day. What I was trying to get at is that I was actually trying to get at the whole culture thing as well, where it's like that culture of we gotta respect each other, we gotta respect human and be a family and all that stuff, definitely helps to prevent crime from happening. I know that Egypt is completely different to South Africa, but the idea of, and this is where I'm on the fence about it, the idea of a death penalty implemented correctly by a justice system that is trustworthy, which I know is a dream, let's be honest, because at the end of the day, it's humans that implement these laws, could maybe help. Do I think it would help in South Africa? Absolutely not. In Texas, for example, there's still the death penalty, and there's a lot of flaws with it. Has it decreased the crime? Probably not, because our gun laws are... I mean, I'm for guns, don't get me wrong. I'm definitely for guns, but I do think that America needs to have stricter laws on their guns, because there's too many people who get a hold of guns and then do massacres and stuff like that. But I know that at the same time, South Africa also has a lot of violence with guns, and it doesn't get public, it doesn't get in the news.
Yeah, the problem though in South Africa with guns is that the guns that are killing people are illegally owned.
Yeah, I'm aware of that too.
Remember all these break-ins into police stations, break-ins into
sometimes the police is corrupt,
where SANDF staff live.
Yeah.
These are all perpetrated by the same people who are supposed to protect us, soldiers, police. They still, I mean, I can't imagine just a regular person going to a police station to rob police. It's inside jobs in most
Yeah. It
most
sounds
cases.
ridiculous.
So the problem again is not guns.
Culture.
It's the fact that police don't know how police are not properly trained to deal with crime.
Yes.
The problem is not that there is no death penalty in South Africa. The problem is that if you commit a crime in South Africa, chances of you being caught in the first place are very slim. We have such a low conviction rate in this country. I mean, think about Senzo Meyiwa, who was brutally murdered in the presence of 7 people. I mean, these people were never called to tell their side of the story by investigators. And it's been such a shame that Senzo Meyiwa's father passed on without ever knowing what happened to his son. Life has gone on for the people who were with him, and no one has come forth with the truth. What happened
Yes.
to him? So if you murder someone in South Africa, you are more likely to get away with it than not.
Yeah.
So why would people stop murdering? So until you fix that, for me, until you fix that, death penalty is not going to do anything. Death penalty is not going to stop people, because you can get away with it. I mean, look at the state. What we are hearing at the Zondo Commission with the state capture and all other commissions, actually, whether it's ESCOM, whether it's SABC, the theft that is happening to steal is a crime in South Africa, but there's no way to hold politicians to account in the first place. And if the people who we look up to stand for the Constitution, to stand for the laws of this country, if the same people do as they please, what must happen now with the rest of society? So there's a lot of things that we could actually be doing in South Africa, but we're not doing them. Now we are looking at something else that is far, far away, which is the death penalty, which is not going to solve our society, guys. Let's fix our families. Let's fix our homes. Let's fix our communities. And until we do that, we're just playing around. We're just being populist, and we just want quick answers and quick ways of dealing with problems and a crisis in our society. So I mean, if I steal something and I don't get caught, which has been happening in government, I mean, trillions were stolen during Jacob Zuma's time. The ANC has been stealing. I mean, think about the arms deal. They've been stealing since 1994. So until we fix the fact that if you're a politician, you're not going to get caught. I mean, if a politician murders someone, are they going to go to jail in the first place? Will they ever be caught? I mean, there's been so many stories of thuggery by David Mabuza, who is the deputy president of South Africa. I mean, until such time we get serious about these issues, then we should not be talking about the death penalty. I'm sorry.
I can definitely level with you on that. Those are all valid and good points. I've been saying for a very long time in discussions with friends and family members and in private capacity that I think the ANC has abandoned, as the president puts it, his people a very long time ago, and ANC before even Cyril Ramaphosa abandoned those people a very long time ago. And poverty breeds a lot of, as we mentioned, the things that you've mentioned now: crime, gangs, breaks down cultures, breaks down families, and empty promises from the ANC that never come to fruition. So I agree with all of that. We do need to focus on a better justice system, or at least one that is followed in the first place, as you mentioned that a lot of these guys don't actually follow it. Better police in terms of training that actually abide by the law, that also, if they break the law, if police break the law, they are also held accountable. I don't see a lot of police who, I mean, look at what happened to the Sandoff. What's happened with the Sandoff case where I'm embarrassed, Khaleesi was killed. Like, I haven't heard anything further, like what happened to those soldiers.
Nothing happened, actually. Nothing happened. Andrew
And that's a
Statana was
disgrace.
killed. Statana was protesting for water, lack of water. Can you believe that his community still doesn't have water today?
Yeah.
They have to buy water, and these are poor communities. How do you buy water if you don't? You must now decide: do I buy water or do I buy a loaf of bread? That's the desperation that people are under.
Well,
Statana's kids.
in the
Wait,
Eastern Cape, the children are eating grass because they're
absolutely.
starving. So again, the government, and I 100% agree with that. Like the government is perpetuating this situation where even if we were to implement the death penalty now, it would do absolutely nothing. It means nothing if your foundations and systems are not held to a certain standard, and I 100% agree with that. So yeah, I think I can yeah, I think maybe now I'll be honest, I was in the camp of yes, death penalty should come back because maybe that would help crime. But after a discussion with you, I think yeah, I can understand that maybe that's a pipe dream and that's something to deflect from the actual issues that we have. So that's very interesting. Let me just get to some of the comments here because a lot of people are commenting some stuff. S.A. Malcontent says, I agree with Unathi. It would have a longer lasting impact to encourage healthy, happy families. Absolutely. Yeah. I fully believe we need to arm ourselves. That's from Robin. I do think so. I think that's a good thing to do. And Yanni said earlier, Unathi, thank you. The legal firearm owners are behaving themselves. It's the illegal guns that are the issue. And I do agree with that. It's usually, I mean, look what happened in that church, I think in this week,
Yes. Yeah.
you know, where there was those three men that were, yeah. And then Mikhail saying, 30 years ago, police were held accountable for their actions. That is no longer the case. So yeah, hit the like button, guys. Thank you, X-Roids, for saying that. Yeah, we have 7 minutes. Is there anything you wanna say
Sure.
further?
Yeah, I don't know what is to be done to fix fatherlessness, to encourage young people especially. I mean, Thomas Sowell talks about this all the time. If you're a young person, don't have children very early.
I don't have kids.
Go to school, finish your university or college, start working, and do whatever job you get. Just empower yourself first before bringing lives into this world. Because when you're young, you don't know anything. You're still young yourself. You cannot take care of anyone, let alone of yourself, let alone another human being.
Exactly.
So stay away from having children that you expect taxpayers to pay. I'm sorry, but it's wrong. It's just immoral to expect somebody else to take. I mean, some educated people. The problem in South Africa, if we educated people, like we gave people good quality education, I mean, studies are there. When you look at the middle class families, most people will have like one child, two kids, and all that. Not that I want to control people, but you must at least afford the children that you have, because
yeah, I agree with that.
we're not gonna fight crime if our families are broken. If I mean the anger that is out there, it comes from the fact that people want to know where they come from. I mean, there was a story, another scandal of Malusi Kikaba. He's impregnated another woman. And this is a married man who doesn't see anything wrong with sleeping around and making babies. These are babies that grow and become a burden to society, because you can't give your attention as a parent to all these kids you plant everywhere. You don't know when their birthdays are. You don't know what they eat, because men also don't want to pay child maintenance, whether they are rich or not. There are men who just refuse. Some men will even stop. I mean, I know that one man in Cape Town who even stops working because he doesn't want to pay child maintenance. I mean, he now has an excuse to tell the court that I'm not working. That's the caliber. And I can't blame him. He doesn't know his father himself. His father was never a part of his life. So the cycle of violence, because I'm saying it's violence towards the children. If you have all these children that you cannot.
Oops.
So until we fix these things that seem to be small in our societies, we are not going to get rid of crime. We're not going to have healthy children. We're not going to have. We'll continue to struggle with drugs. I mean, look at the Cape Flats.
Yeah.
The issues of the Cape Flats won't be solved by the police, although we think soldiers. If there are soldiers on the streets of Manenberg, then for me, if you bring soldiers into the streets of Manenberg, it means that you are normalizing violence, because soldiers only know the language of killing, and soldiers are not peaceful. Soldiers going on war, for instance, that's not a peaceful act.
Yeah.
So you are normalizing violence in the streets of poor communities where you think, as the government, we are protecting you. No, children should not of the Cape Flats should not be going to school and be exposed to guns. I mean, these big guns. I'm even afraid myself whenever I am in a shopping mall and there are these guys who come with the money guys who drive these big vehicles transporting money. So children should not grow up in circumstances where that becomes the norm. It's wrong. It's immoral, and we are just breeding more violence in our communities. So until we fix these things, and it all, I mean, for me, it always starts with an individual. I'm not going to fix South Africa.
Yeah. Education.
I can only fix myself. And try to be the best human being, a best friend I can be, the best aunt or cousin that I can be. And as I always say, if you can influence people in your who are closest to you, children. I don't have kids, but my cousins have kids. So if I'm in a position to influence positively those who are around me, they must see an example when they look at me, a powerful woman who stands up for her rights, who stands up for rights of others as well. So I'm probably going to be the only person who says the things that they hear me say. So I need to stand up for those values and principles. Oops, sorry. So if then I can do that in society, then I mean, it will all be good. And can you see me?
Yeah, I can.
I think. Oh, okay. So if we can all do that and just be best wherever we are, in our little corners, our little homes, our little families, and just try to spread peace more than anything. On social media, do your best to not be nasty. Sometimes I'm nasty to people who are nasty to me. But if all of us try, because this country will be fixed by the people of South Africa, not by politicians. Politicians want to see us divided and all that, but it's us who are going to stop all the nonsense.
Yes. I couldn't agree more with what you've said now, and also just to there was a few things you said, but I think you put it nicely. I think people in the chats have been saying, just stop the grants. That doesn't help, which is very true. No grants.
Remember, guys,
the grants for children. Stop the giving.
For me, you can't say stop the grants and then what?
Again, it goes back to having the correct policy.
You have to read what the Stats General says all the time. Social grants, to have social grants in a country like ours, where there's so much inequality and there's so much disparity as far as the quality of education, public health, and all that. So we need the grants as a social net for people who can't do anything for themselves. The only problem is with the policies that we've chosen, the economic policies that are not taking us anywhere. So you find that if someone was born in a shack, they will die in a shack. They haven't had the opportunity to move up the ladder, the social ladder. So that's the problem in South Africa. It's not social grants. So now, with the lockdown, millions of people have lost and will continue to lose jobs. So it means that those people, my late grandmother used to say that there's no dustbin for a human being, which means that if someone is down, you cannot kick them to be further down. You have to help them up. Social grants help, in poorer families, they use this social grants, at least most people, they use the social grants to take their children to school, to take their children to primary schools and all that. So yes, it's not ideal because it's not a lot of money, but there are people who are smart about it who try and make. I mean, some people will have veggie gardens, so that you don't have to buy everything because you're not going to afford everything that you need as a human being to eat healthily and all that. So to say that social grants must be done away with is irresponsible.
Well, I
And
think
I'm a capitalist, but I want people to be helped when they can't be helped, when
yeah,
they can't help.
obviously, if there's a disability or they can't work very
Yes,
well or they're elderly or
work for
stuff like that,
themselves.
that makes sense. But I think
We can put a limit to the number of children that we can help. For me, it's
yes,
one. If you have more than one child, then it's your problem, not mine.
yeah, that I think that's what they were getting at, and also
Mm.
Grimm saying just stop breeding like flies.
Yeah. Yeah. I
um,
mean, we usually think that people who should have kids are rich people. There's a lot of rich people who are nasty to children, who are abused children. So we cannot equate having money to being a good parent. Unfortunately, that's not how it works. So I wouldn't want to discriminate against a poor person and say that you can't have
Absolutely.
a child. It should be someone's choice. Like I made a choice not to have children as
Mm.
Unathi, and I live by it, and I'm happy with it. I'm at peace with it. But I can't expect that of it should be. I mean, I respect individual liberty always, and yeah.
Yeah. I again like I do believe that there's a lot that needs to be fixed with South Africa. I hope that ANC and EFF are well. I hope that ANC in the next elections will lose, and I hope that the EFF will also just somehow
Yeah.
disappear.
I think they've reached their what do they say? What are these things they say about Corona? They've reached their peak.
That's a good one. I like that. Yeah.
I hope that
I hope that people will choose. People need to go vote. Let me put it that way. People
absolutely
need to
yes.
go vote. I
Yeah.
don't care who you vote for. I'm not advocating for ZACP or Cape Party or DA or COPE or Good or any of these other ones. I'm not advocating for one of them. I'm saying just go vote. And as long as it's not the ANC or the EFF, I'm happy. And I think every
Yeah.
South African can agree with that. I think enough is enough with the ANC, is what I'm saying, and the EFF. So I think we'll leave it there because I want people to watch it. I want people to watch this episode. It's a very, very informative and interesting discussion with you, Unathi, especially at the beginning. You telling us your story about what happened. Thank you once again for being honest and telling us your story. I know it's not easy to always stand for what you believe in, and yes, you do get a lot of flack for it. Even I do. But at the end of the day, we're just trying to be honest and good people, as you've stated just now. You just want to be a good person, and so do I. So these are interesting discussions to have, and I hope people who are listening and watch this in the future may have learned something, or maybe we change someone's opinion on the death penalty. Who knows?
Yeah.
So it's always great to have these discussions. And Unathi, once again, you're becoming a kind of a Friday regular, um, which I don't mind. So I'm sure we'll find another topic to chat about. Maybe we can delve more into the social grants thing. The pros and cons. I think that's an interesting discussion to have because there are people that will say, no, we need kids to be taken care of, especially in the poverty areas. But what are the effects of that? What are the negative things? What are the positive things? And I think that's a very cool
Yeah,
discussion to
there's
have.
one. Yeah, and just one last thing. There's an exciting project in the pipeline for me to work with the University of Johannesburg.
Interesting. Okay.
We want to promote fourth industrial revolution. We want to give young people options, to tell them about the options of what can they take this forward to. I mean, the world of work is changing every day. So you want empowered people. You want people who are skilled to meet the challenges of the day. Robots are here. They're not going anywhere. The ATMs, the banks are moving outside now of the buildings and are using. We bank from our cell phones today. So what are the opportunities there for young people? So that's the project I'm going to be working with at the University of Johannesburg, and I look forward to it. I look forward to that, and just to take the message out there to young people using social media, because they are on social media. So we go where they are, and we want our young people to have better lives, and politicians are not going to do that for them. They are going to do that for themselves. And we want people to promote entrepreneurship, and these are things that are close to my heart. And as I said before, I'm a capitalist, and there's no other way of growing an economy without embracing capitalism. Of course, I am a capitalist with the heart, and I do care about how I make my money. I do care about providing good service to people. So that's what is coming up, and I look forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, how about you join me next Friday again at 11 o'clock and we chat about the social grant and some other comments here that have come in that we will get to in the next one. Like, for example, your opinion on the universal basic income. Don't say anything now. We'll leave it for next week. But yeah, I think, are you available next week, 11 o'clock?
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yes.
Let's make it happen.
We can make it a Friday regular. The ANC has got ANC Fridays, so we can have a joke.
Fantastic. All right, cool. With that, Unathi, stay on the line, but everybody that watched, thank you so much. All your comments are very much welcome. Thank you so much. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and please give it a share. Let's see if more people can watch this. And anybody that has a comment, please comment in the comment section below. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, I will be back later today at 6 o'clock. I will be chatting with you guys, and I'll make it a call-in episode as well, where you guys can call in should you wish to. You don't have to, but I'm going to spend an hour with you guys. No guests, just me and you chatting on as we end off the week this week. From 6 to 7, please come join me. I'll be announcing that shortly on YouTube. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Enjoy your Friday. And if I don't see you tonight, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Be kind to one another. And I'll see you at the next one. Cheers.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and a share. That's how my content gets out there. Also, don't be afraid to comment. I usually do respond to the comments in the comment section below. If you want to support my channel, please go to the link in the description below, support my channel, and you'll be taken to my website, which has all the details. Also, if you're new to my channel, please subscribe. Also, feel free to check out the links below to my social media accounts. Give me a follow, and I'll see you at the next one.